Well, hello, welcome back. I'm Claire, this is Purple Poppy, and today I'm doing some more work on the journal monthly for June. Now, last week we joined all of our pieces of fabric together to give us this flap journal base. While you were gone, I did make some fabric cord. I'm not going to go into how to make this because I am by no means an expert, and there are lots and lots of videos on YouTube about how to do this. Catherine over at K3N has a great one if you can't find any others. And this will fall my closure, black and white, because of the thread. So I'm going to set that to one side for a minute. And today I would like to work on this front cover. Now, one of the things you're going to need to remember through this book is that any stitching you do is obviously going through to the other side. So you need to bear that in mind. Any glue that you use, if you don't use it sparingly, may create an issue on the other side. So obviously just be mindful of what you're doing as you work. If you're doing this in a paper version, as previously talked about, then obviously you just carry on with your normal glues and what have you. Now, I've got this piece of old tablecloth. You can see it's got two different fabrics and embossing through it. This way you've got a shiny pattern, and this way you've got a shiny top and bottom. But I've just coffee dyed it and ripped it to pieces, and I'm going to put that on my front. Also, I did have in my stash some of these Tim Holtz style frames, and I made these very simply by just doing 3/4 or half an inch and 3/4 of an inch at the bottom, cutting it out, and then using pieces from Which Craft Do You Do just to decorate that up. And I was having so much fun. I did a bluey one, a greeny one, an orangey one and a reddy one. So obviously you could use any papers to make your frames. Don't need to have a frame on the front. Do whatever you want to do. I have also got these two images, and these are from that watercolour book that I've got. I quite like this greeny one, and I'm thinking if I put this greeny frame on it, I don't think it's gonna necessarily do it great justice. I think we're going to lose, although that way could work. Could sort of get it in half, couldn't I? In fact, I think I want to, because if you look at that flower there, whatever that is very reminiscent of the Tim Holtz die cut that I've got, or die that I've got. So I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to get my tear ruler. You can obviously use any frame and any picture that you like. I'm just gonna basically tear that in half, and then I can use that piece another day. I'm gonna find out where I want it. I think I want, see, because I could go to the bottom and I could have, you know, the undergrowth as it were, or I could go to the top or the middle and have a bit of both, or I could go all the way to the top and have more of those trees. I think I'm going to opt for about there. So I think the easiest thing to do is glue up my frame, and then I'll put my frame down in the right, hopefully in the right place. So I'm going to get some glue on. Now, I know the real ones of these photo frames, the Tim Holtz ones, they have stitching around them. Whereas of course I've only glued mine. You could stitch them if you wanted to. I know Miss Paint-A-Lot has got a superb video on making these. So we're going about there, like that. Okay. I didn't press too hard because I didn't want to press the glue to my mat. And if I just take my scissors that have got something stuck to them already, and I can trim along the bottom there and along the top. Again, I'm going to keep those, not this piece obviously, but that bigger one. Now I think that is beautiful. Now I have also got here some die cuts of the Tim Holtz Left Behind. I can't think what they're actually called. I quite like number 6. I don't know why, but I do like number 6, but I don't know if I like it over there. I want it over that side. I think you can see it more that side. So I'm going to pop that on there as well. And then what else have I got in this pile of stuff? Well, there's the actual book. Playing card. Look, there's all sorts of stuff in here. Now, of course, you would have birds, wouldn't you, in a forest. So maybe we could... No, don't like that. I feel like I need something that's shaped. So something more like a ticket, I'm thinking. Which means I probably need to go into my tub. See what's in my tub. See if I can find a ticket, or I say straight away tickets on the top. And that is green as well, so let's trim that off. It says inspected. I'm not really bothered about what it says. I just feel like I need a ticket shape. And as usual, I'm filling my desk up, so we'll get that out of the way. And we just trim this down. So how are you? What have you been up to? I know last week there was a few of you commenting you've never seen a fabric, you've never seen a journal put together in this way. So hopefully there'll be some more, you know, inspiration and interest for you here today. Right, now what I'm going to do is get rid of all my pages over there and get rid of my top up there, so I'm only working on this front cover piece. I want everything else out of the way, and I want this more to the seam than to the edge, so I'm going to pop that about there. Double check you can see. Wouldn't hurt to go up a little bit. There you go. And then I can put my frame to this side, so you can see a little bit of that fabric pattern there. I want my number 6 to sit that side. I've got my little inspected ticket. Could maybe sit under there like that, and I feel like I need something behind there because that's just too, you know, one fabric on another, as it were. So one of the easiest things to do is to be look at my fabrics again. Now this one I love. I haven't got much of this left, so I've been trying to use it sparingly because it's got these dots on. I just think it's lovely. How am I going to get that on there without wasting it? So I'm going to cut along there and then up there. And it does feel like a little bit of a waste because there's so much of it going to be hidden, but I want the effect, so I suppose that's not waste, is it? Yeah, see, it just makes the difference to me. So I am actually going to stitch this. So the first thing I'm going to do is glue on my inspected ticket. And put that across there. Everything on an angle, you know me, I'm not very good at straight. Straight bothers me. Oops. Oops. And I've just cut this from some of that grungy paper I had left from last month's journal when we did that flip up notebook style. There we go. So now if I get rid of my book again for a minute, because as much as I am going to stitch, I also want to make sure that all of these pieces are actually where I want them to be. I'm going to let that all be screwed up. So I'm going to glue down the edge. And about 2/3 of the way across, and pop that on there, and then lift it up, put some more glue on the third that we didn't glue just now, a little bit on this fabric, because obviously you're not going to see it now because it's got that picture on it. Whoops. I'm going to offer that there, like that. Okay, now I'm going to lift all these papers off my sewing box. We're going to find the black that we used before, and I'm going to look at, no, I don't want green, I want to stick to the black, definitely. So I suppose this is the point, duh Claire, where you need a needle. So get all of that out the way, slide that down, offer that on there, that all fits on there lovely, and now I'm just going to have to find a needle. Okay, needle found, that wasn't too difficult. Just going to pull out a length. I'm going to see about getting this through the eye. I have been, since that lady suggested it, threading my needle before I cut my thread off. I have to be honest and say it's 50% successful. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. The suggestion was if you did it this way, then it wouldn't knot up. And as I say, sometimes it's successful, others it's not. Okay, so I'm going to start by coming above this main base and through that first one there. Okay, could really do with a pin just to hold that in place. Now what I'm doing is very normal to you journal makers in the terms of paper. You know, you put layers and layers for interest and then you join them all together. Well, that's exactly what I'm doing, only instead of paper and glue, I'm doing it with fabric and thread. And then I'm going to come up here and come back through there because I want to create a cross. So then back over to there and then back up in the middle line there, and that's created me a little cross. Okay, just want to make sure it doesn't move too much, that's all. Okay, so again I'm just gonna do this does look a little bit awkward, and it is a little bit awkward if I'm 100% honest, because I've got bendy fabric base, I've got bendy fabrics, and then I've got the stiff card, but I'm quite okay with that. And you'll notice that I'm not stitching around the dark fabric, I'm stitching around the frame on the smaller piece of fabric. It's definitely enough to hold the 3 layers together, no problem at all there. Okay, and I've now stitched down that fold that was naturally occurring in the fabric where it had been folded up in the box, and that's fine by me as well. Then I'm going to do another cross, so going up on the angle. Oh, we've got a little knot there. See, and this is what I'm saying, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, it just depends, and I can't find any rhyme or reason why it does or it doesn't, if I'm honest. But there we go, and then if I can pick the needle back up, I'm going to come down there, back up there, back down to there, and then across to about the middle of where that cross would be, you see, and then I'm just going to keep going with another couple of running stitches. Okay, and now I'm can see our front cover's got this stitching all the way round. I'm not going to stitch across the bottom here because that is held in place now. It's not going to go anywhere, and by not stitching across the bottom allows me, if I want to put something in there or something in there. You see? So I'm just going to close this off on the back. And that is my stitching secure, like so. So now when we put our book all back together, we close it all up and come round. This is now our front cover. Okay, slightly skew width, suits me. Everything I do is a bit bent, you should know that by now. But I do have the ability, if I want to, because I've not stitched this down. I mean, obviously I wouldn't use this, but just as an example, I can put another piece there if I want to, which is why I do not want to stitch this piece to this until I'm 100% sure where I'm going with it. Okay. So, as I said to you, the only thing with this type of book is that obviously it all shows on the back. So we need to work out what we're going to do on this inside cover that's going to help with our stitching. Now sometimes you'll want to see the stitching, other times you won't. At this point I don't. So I've got here an envelope. It's quite a big envelope. It's an envelope that I believe a calendar came in. So I'm just going to tear this straight down the middle, and I'm thinking I'm going to use one of the quarters, so where it's naturally been folded. I think this was a calendar my mum had, so she had folded it. I want to keep the height, that's good with me, but I want to reduce the width because it's hanging over too much for my liking. So I'm going to tear down there and try that. That now fits my page very nicely. I'm going to glue this piece to there. I've then got a pocket because it's an envelope. Now to make that obvious, I may well tear round. So I'll do it now. And now I've got like a library pocket almost. So it's time to get out some ink and start grunging up. So here's my dirty mat, which is very dirty. We've got stay lit. And I'm using Archival Coffee. And because this is not sealed, we can open it up and we can ink around, and we don't have to worry about this corner going onto the back piece. Not worried about this piece obviously because that's going to be glued down, as is that, but I am concerned about this piece and this piece. So do that side and the bottom, because that bottom is actually going to be the top. Okay, so when it goes back together like that, did the wrong sides, didn't I? Oopsie. So flick it over and do the other side like that. Okay, need to do this edge. Okay, so now we've got a double pocket. You could make it into a triple if you're working in paper, because by just gluing here and here, you'd have one at the back, you'll have one here, and then you'll have a tuck spot there. I'm only going to have the two because I want to glue it down completely, but obviously I want to decorate it up first. So what have I got in my little pile of tricks over here that I could use? Well, obviously we don't want to use another one of them pictures or a frame, so we'll get rid of those pieces. I have got book pages here, and these book pages I've just put splodges of watercolour on just for interest really, and I'm thinking I'm going to go with this brown one. So I'm going to use my tear ruler and I'm just going to tear out this watercolour section. So it's just an old book page and I've just splodged some watercolour on it. Okay, I'm not worried about that bit being non-painted. So that's going to give me a good base for this pocket. So we lift this up, I'm going to offer that, and we can see we need to take some off there. So we'll just shape that in like that. Okay, I'm sorry, you can probably hear all the chatter and laughter in the street. This is some more of the Which Craft Do You Do kit. So that I think is going to sit nicely on that flap. So that's the first thing that I'm going to do. So I'm going to glue that to here. She says, I don't think there's any glue coming out, is there? Okay, I'm going to go for the double stripe. That suits me. And what you've got to remember is that every piece that we put on is making that cover more sturdy. Okay, so you might not be able to see the line, but I can. Not that it makes much difference, can't cut in a straight line anyway. Okay, so there's our first flap. Let's run a little bit more ink down there, across that top. This one is going to sit there like that. I'm not gluing that top bit because I'm going to want to add stuff underneath, but I want to get this down. So I'll glue this in. It sounds like the postman is on his way down now. So that's probably going to be a knock on the door. Okay, we've got some nice labels here. This is the bits and pieces kit that I'm using. I'm going to pop that just under there like that. Now I can glue that top bit down. Like so. Okay. And then just looking to see what I've got. Use whatever you've got on your table, you know. Please don't think you need to start buying things for this. You just use what you got. So that one's going to sit there. So just get some more ink down there. Oh, do I want it underneath? No, I definitely want it on top. Although, hang on, because I'm thinking as I go here, do we want, that would go under there nicely, wouldn't it? So let's pop that under there first of all. Definitely need some glue in this bottle. Put that there. Glue that. Like so. And then we've got a little bit here. Now, what I don't know is, do I want to put, or do I actually just want to leave it? I think I might just leave it, you know. Obviously, you make your own choices. So that's what that now looks like. No. Okay. So, have a little rummage around. Now, got I feel like this would sit there. It does cut down the amount of tuck space that we've got. So do we then want a smaller one? Not sure. Or do we go here and tuck from that side? Let's have a look at our people, because we do need people that are sitting down. They need an extra one, these guys, because they need to be leaning on something. So I'm going to go for lost rather than wings. And then if I put this under there, if they sit on there, this can sit down there with the Paris. It's not straight, but that could sit down there with the Paris. His coat sit there, and it looks like that is what he's resting his arm on. I'm just quickly trying to scan the words and make sure I haven't done anything ridiculous. We could move that along a little bit. I just want to try and make sure that we can work out what the word is. That's what's getting me. So let's try and find another little one. Funny. That's Betty. You can pretty much work out what that word is. Okay, so I'm going to glue the funny down. Oh, this is ridiculous. Let's use this one. So this is what I use to fill the small one anyway, so it doesn't really make any difference. I want to line up under the Paris, I said, didn't I? That was the right height. So a little bit more glue on there. And then we're going to pop this and sit it on top of that line of words. That should make it nice and easy for us. We'll pick up our chaps. And I was trying to hook his, look, there's an arc there. I thought that just sat well on there, and his arms resting on there. And it just adds a little bit more. Yeah, okay. So, put some glue on there. Okay, and they are going to sit there, like that. So there is going to be my inside cover. I'm going to just glue this area and round this curvy bottom. I'm just going to put a little bit along there because of course it's all open there, isn't it? Oops, stand up and then just press that home like that. Can get rid of this messy mat. Can bring back our cover section, and now I'm just going to apply this to here so that the only stitching that I can really see is the original seam. I don't want to see all that. There will be places where I do want to see stitching, but this is not one of them. So you can use fabric glue if you want to, but to be honest with you, there's not a lot of difference really between fabric glue, general PVA, right, unless obviously you use something like Fabri-Tac because that's acetone based, so that's a very different type of glue. Put that there. I want to see that lovely fray. I want to see the different fabric underneath, and just press him home. And then, although this is not what I would use, there is a pocket, and there is a tuck spot. So, ta-da! We have today made our front cover. So there it is. There's our front cover. That's what it looks like. And there, when we open it all up, is the inside of our front cover. So, as always, I thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you're inspired to make your own grungy, scruffy, scrappy fabric journal for the month of June. Stay safe. I'll see you very soon. Ta-ta for now.